Hello, this is Christopher Chesterman with Liberty University, and welcome to Scalecraft 101. As you may be aware, scale is the ability to put one thing that is on one level and blow it up or shrink it down to fit on a different level. For government, it's making policies go from small to big or big to small. Think of it like a restaurant. A small restaurant might have a la carte menus. You can buy everything at a time. As it gets bigger, it's going to offer combo meals to make it convenient both for the restaurant and for the customer. And then it gets so big that you buy a meal for the whole day. You buy breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and that's the only set of meals you get for that day from that restaurant. Now, this last set of blocking is necessary as governments expand because it's impossible for individuals to make informed decisions on every little thing. We have to rely on experts like medical decisions or engineers for electronics and cars and things like that. But scale gives context to the policy and the policy makers. It helps people understand where they're at and what both are at. So for the EU's education, which is called the Open Method of Coordination, or the OMC, they have all the knowledge. They are up there and they diffuse the best practices, the standards to the local districts for them to handle it. And some do and some don't. And this leads to Papanastasiou's conclusion that there are three basic types of scale. There's fusing scales. You fuse the smaller scales and the bigger scales together to one overarching scale. There's boundary scaling, which is basically you keep different scales at this basic levels. And then there's weaving. You weave the different scales together into one overarching scale. It's not a fusing. The fusing is everything into one scale. Weaving is keeping both scales but letting them work together. However, this does not always work. Columbus, Ohio kept their water rights and certain land areas to prevent suburban areas from encroaching on their territory so they could have room to expand. But that still created competition, as with the formation of Easton and the University Stadium in Columbus. There's also a possibility of amalgamation of different districts combining to each other. And this is an interesting idea, but it has only been observed with smaller towns with 100,000 people or less, in the Netherlands with the Dutch. And increasing the size of jurisdictions does reduce per capita expenses, but you also sacrifice welfare and taking care of the less fortunate because you have to cater more to everybody instead of helping those who might need it. And so this comes to the issue of government accessibility, because you can do all this upscaling and downscaling, boy, this doesn't do any good if people can't access the government. And technology is the future. But there's no comprehensive technology for e-government. E-government is not a technology in and of itself, but on the contrary, the use of technologies in the service of governmental institutions. And so governments need to re-strategize their technology use and consult with both Scalecraft experts as well as technology professionals to build something that people can use and feel confident in using and be connected to their government. That's probably the best option for scale. But Gusson has concluded that the best government scale is an EU modeled after the early second millennium Germany and Italy with the city-states and outlying districts, because societal crises are manifestations of scale distortion or scale entanglement. And he has a picture that says that basically shows the symmetry, and well, here it is. Symmetries and differentiation. In economic symmetry, breaking occurs on the urban or the city level. So you have all these things going on, and then people break from what's going on to create even more, and that causes problems because there's too many resources are spread too thin, and eventually society collapses. That's the long and short of it. There's a lot of details he goes into, but the bottom line is that one scale cannot fit everything. You cannot take something that's down here and blow it up because it works down here. You can't take the same thing that's good for overarching and then condense it into a municipal or even state level. All these levels have to coordinate. So the local or city or county or state districts are the good monitors for socioeconomic status, while the federal government or EU body can have the overarching themes and policies as guidelines for the more local districts to follow. And that is currently where the problem of scale is leading scholars. Thank you.